Hey beautiful people, I've just come down here to share. There's a really strong message that's coming through, and I've actually shared this privately with a couple of people who've messaged me in regards to just obviously the world events that are going on, obviously the fires, all of that jazz. And I want to share the intuitive message because obviously, you know, the fires have been devastating for a lot of people. A lot of people feeling anger, rage, sadness. Hey, Angie. A lot of people are feeling a lot of emotions, whether they're directly affected by the fires or not. And I really want to point out that it's, you know, like a direct, connection. It's the same when the Amazon burnt. So many people went into grief. It's like when Notre Dame burnt last year. So many people went into grief. Why? Because it's starting to shift out of our heart, right? This grief is needing to come out. Now, the intuitive message that I received about why so many animals have died, because obviously, like for me, I'm like, yeah, the fires, like I feel like, might sound like a cold-hearted bitch, okay? For me, I'm like, okay, yeah, after fires, the bush regenerates. After any, event, the community gets together and people come together and help each other. Like, everybody regenerates. The animals, I'm like, oh, the animals. Like, for me, I was just like, 500 billion? Like, that's a lot. But for me, I'm also questioning, I'm like, why? How does anyone even measure that number? But anyway, that's just my logical head trying to kick in there, right? And so the intuitive message that I received, and I shared this with someone yesterday, and I felt like I needed to share it publicly, is when I saw that originally, I was like, 500 billion? I'm like, it's like hard to fathom, right? And, I'm like, is that just in Australia with the fires, or is that including the Amazon? Like, there's a lot that's been lost right now, right? And specifically talking about the animals right now, because the message that came through when I was, obviously feeling that in my heart, and I was like, the animals, the poor animals, right? My shaman heart or something. Anyway, the point is that this is a short and sweet message, and I felt a lot of peace when I heard it. It made a lot of sense, and it is a very big picture scale message, right? And hey Cassie, hey everyone. The message that dropped in when I was asking about the animals and what is the reason for 500 billion all of a sudden going, right? And the message that I heard, well, the memory came back of when I read something, and I have a feeling it was from Drunvalo Michel's deck. I think, don't quote me on this, but the memory came back of when he said that dolphins once walked on the land. Yeah, trust will tell me if it's too many. Dolphins once walked on the land, and when the dolphins saw the destruction, the hurt, all of that jazz that humans were doing to the planet, they chose to go back to the water until we woke up, got it, whatever. Now, some of you might think I'm crazy right now, but that always resonated with me. I was like, oh, no brainer, right? The reason that 500 billion animals have gone off the planet right now is a very similar big picture scale message. I was like, oh, that makes total sense. And it's so interesting, right, when we're, like the devastation and destruction and, like the extinction of certain animals, yeah? They will come back when we remember, when humans wake up, yeah? And it was, and some people might be like, oh, that's a fucked up message, Hannah, or how, you're not feeling the grief about it. What are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. But that, yeah, you remember that? That is the message that intuitively came through. And I know this is short and sweet, but I felt really called to share it in the sense that just like when the dolphins returned back to the water, that they once walked on the land with us because of our destruction and everything going on like that, it kind of makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah? So I just wanted to share that message specifically on the animals, yeah, that, I was just like, why have they left? And that memory came back of why the dolphins chose to go back into the water when they once walked on land with us, because of the destruction and the separation and all of that damage, the conscious awareness of that we lacked perhaps, what we're actually doing, but they chose to go back into the water. Like how many times, but when, like, people say dolphins are like humans, right? Leonie says, I'm not sure about this, but this morning I was in deep thought that is it a coincidence that the bushfires are happening around Botany Bay? What do you think? Could the land be clearing out Australia's dark past and related to the activation of Uluru? Yes, yes, yes. 100%. I'm going to jump on a live stream. I'm going to jump off this one and jump on a separate live stream now and talk deeply about this and the grief and everything that everyone's feeling, because I wanted to keep this one specifically about the message that came through for me about the animals, right? And so I'll go into more of that, definitely, Leonie, on the next live stream, so you can come and join me live. You might have to refresh the page. I'm going to jump off and go deep into this now. Love you.